Welcome dear students. Last class we are seeing the atom lessons. So in the atom lessons we are seeing the various model of an atom. The first one is J.J. Thomson atom model. The first atomic model was proposed by J.J. Thomson atom model, and this model is also known as plum pudding model. Then next one, Balmer. He obtained a simple empirical formula. So after Thomson, actually Thomson is the first person who determined the charge-wave mass ratio. So the next nuclear model, the first nuclear model was proposed by Rutherford. Actually Rutherford is a student of J.J. Thomson, but Rutherford used his students, the two person names Geiger and Marsden. So they performed an experiment, okay, that is gold foil alpha particle scattering experiment. So from the experiment, Rutherford suggested this is the nucleus. Nucleus looks like this. Okay, so the first nuclear model is given by Rutherford. So now we are going to see, after the Rutherford nuclear models, we are seeing one more topic, that is electron orbit. Okay, so this is also for a simple hydrogen atom. So for a simple hydrogen atom, that is electron orbit, we are determining the radius as well as the velocity. So based on these concepts, now we are going to see the book examples from our NCERT. The first example is, so for a Rutherford nuclear model of an atom, we know that in an atom, the nucleus is located at the center. So this is the nucleus that contains a proton and a neutron. So this nucleus is analogous to Sun. Okay, we are going to compare the Sun. And the electrons are located in the orbit. No? So these electrons are analogous to a planet. Okay, so we are going to assume the electron is like a planet. That's what the Rutherford nuclear model atom. This is the atom model at present we are following, and this nuclear model atom we are going to relate with the solar system. In our solar system, the Sun is the center. With respect to Sun, all other planets are revolving in their respective orbits. Same like for an atom, the nucleus is at the center, okay, which is made up of the dense matter, that is proton and neutron. So around this nucleus, the electrons are revolving. Okay, so based on these concepts, based on these analogies, the comparisons, we are going to prove the Earth around the Sun that follows closer orbit or far away from it. Okay, that only we are going to predict. Okay, so with respect to this nuclear model, the Earth follows a closer orbit or far away from it. That we are going to prove it. Okay. So this is the questions. For the solution is, we have well known the radius of the Earth. What is the radius of Earth? So the actual radius of Earth is 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 meter, and the radius of the Sun also we have known. It's a constant value. The two values already we have found from 11th standard gravitation lessons. So the radius of the Sun is 7 into 10 to the power 8 meter. Okay. Now how we are going to relate it? You take the dimensional ratios. So the dimensional ratios between electron radius and the nuclear radius which is equal to, what is the electron radius? In an atom, the position of an electron from the nucleus, that is in Angstrom, no, that is 10 raised minus 10 meter divided by nuclear radius, because this is the very smallest portion of an atom which is highly dense and located in a very small volume. Okay, so from the position of an electron to the nucleus, the space is very high. Okay, it is very smallest comparing an electron radius. So it is Fermi meter. What is the Fermi meter? 10 raised minus 15 meter. Then by taking these dimensional ratios, what is the value we will obtain? 10 raised, meter and meter cancel. So 10 raised minus 10 into 10 raised denominator value into numerator, it becomes plus 15. So the final value is 10 to the power 5. So we got this. We are going to compare this. So the new radius of an Earth orbit. Okay. So Earth radius. So the new Earth radius is, that is radius of Earth, which is equal to, because already we compared now. So Earth we compared to electron and nucleus we compared to the Sun. So from the comparisons, how much times it is greater? So 10 to the power 5 times of 10 to the power 5 times of radius of Sun. Radius radius of sun. So already the dimension value we got it. So 10 raised 5 into what is the radius of sun? The radius of sun also we have a constant value 7 into 10 to the power 8 meter. So finally it is 7 into 10 raised 5 plus 8 that become 13 meter. So this is we estimated the radius of Earth, but actual radius of Earth is totally different. What is the radius of Earth? So actual radius of Earth is that is a constant value that does not change. So actual radius of Earth is 1.5 into 10 raised 11 meter. So compare these two values. So on comparisons, on comparing both, what you will get on comparing these two values, how much times the estimated value differs from the actual value. On comparing both, we have measured the new radius of Earth, which is greater than how much times? Compare the power value. We don't want to consider this. This is 10 raised 13, this is 10 raised 11. So remain how much is 10 square. So 10 square means 100. So the estimated value is 100 times greater than the actual radius of Earth. So the estimated value is 100 times greater than actual Earth radius. So confoundingly we can say the Earth will not closer to the sun, it is far away from the sun. So comparing now the analysis we are going to compare. So comparing the Earth radius in an atom, the electrons which is located far away from the nucleus, because most of the space in an atom is almost found empty. So that is the final conclusions we are coming from these questions. Okay, so it's very simple comparison only. So in an atom, the nucleus we are going to relate with the sun, like so planetary model, and the electron we are going to relate with the planet. Okay, so from the comparisons, yet whether Earth follows closer to the sun or far away from the sun, the orbiters. Okay, but what finally we have concluded. So even Earth itself this much now, then think about the electron in an atom. So electron in an atom that follows much far away from the nucleus. So most of the space in an atom is almost empty. So finally we come to the conclusion that most space in an atom around nucleus is almost empty. Okay, that's it. So the first numerical over. Only one thing you should know this dimensional ratios. So the dimensional ratios between electron radius and nuclear radius, you will get the value. From that value, how much times the sun radius. Okay. So from the new Earth radius, you are going to compare with the actual Earth radius. How much times it differs. So from the both comparisons value, finally we can come to the conclusion that the electron which is far away from the nucleus. So most of the space in an atom is almost found empty. So first question over. Next we are moving to the second example. So the 12.2. So the question, Geiger-Morstan experiment. So from a Geiger-Morstan experiments to operate the Bismuth, how much voltage we are supplying now? From experiment it is 5.5 mega electron volts. Okay. So from Geiger-Morstan experiment, that is GM experiment, 7.7 million electron volt is supplied to operating alpha particles. These alpha particles allowed to strike on the gold foil. Okay, so these alpha particles is allowed to strike on the gold foil. Okay, so the diagram comes like this. So this is alpha incident alpha particle beam. Okay, so from this incident alpha particle beam, golden nucleus. So golden nucleus is here. So this is golden nucleus. Okay. So most of the alpha particles that passes through this atom. Okay. Few particles are deflected like this. But only very less number of particles that rebound from its original path. So these positions alone considered as head-on-head collisions. So from the head-on-head collisions, how much distance are left for alpha particle without touching the golden nucleus? Without touching the golden nucleus. What is AU? AU, we know it's a lucky name of gold, Rm. Okay. So without touching the golden nucleus, how much distance are left? That of this distance only we are going to determine. Okay. So I repeat the question once again. So from Weger-Molson experiment, 7.7 mega electron volt is used to produce an alpha particle beam. This alpha particle beams are made to incident on the gold nucleus. So we know that the alpha particles is nothing but positive charged helium nuclei that contains 2 protons. Similarly, the gold nucleus also have a protons. Okay, so the positive and positive equals to, so only very few number of particles. Out of 8,000 alpha particles, only one alpha particle beam is found. The other was head-on-head collision. The theta value also we know. So the scattered angle is nearly pi. Okay. So how much the distance of closest approach? So this value only we are going to determine. Are you clear about the questions? Okay. So the solution comes like this. Look at the solution. Okay. So what is operating voltage? We take and write the given value. So the energy of alpha particle beam is 7.7 million or mega electron volt. But electron volt we have to convert it into joule, no? So 7.7 and mega means what is order? 10 to the power 6 or million also 10 to the power 6. And 1 electron volt is equal to how much joule? Is 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 joule. So the energy value here we are converted into joule. Okay. And then the distance of closest approach only we want to determine. Also, we know the energy formula. What is the energy formula? But energy, there is electrostatic energy K, which is equal to proportionality constant K, Q1, Q2 by the distance R. But what is the proportionality constant? From electrostatic chapter we know the value. It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, that is a K value. And Q1 and Q2, know what is the Q1? 2 electron and Q2 for a golden nucleus. So golden nucleus contains the atomic number and 1 electrons. That is Ze divided by the distance. What is the distance? The distance of closest approach only we are going to determine. So how much distance are left for an alpha particle without touching the surface of gold nucleus? So this distance only we are going to determine. So that is the distance R, which means from the center of alpha particle to the center of gold nucleus distance. Okay, so this distance is called distance of closest approach. So we can modify the formula. So compare this both formula, the energy and this distance both we can rearrange. How? So the distance D, distance of closest approach D is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught. You cannot change it. So E become E square. So 2 Z E square divided by K. Okay. So this is the final formula. Now we are going to substitute all the values. Okay. Already we know the energy value. Here it is. And what is the exact atomic number of gold? What is the atomic number of gold? So for gold, Z is equal to 79. This is atomic mass because gold is 50 times heavier than alpha particles. 50 times heavier than alpha particle. Gold is 50 times heavier than alpha particles. And E is a charge of electron. What is the charge of electron? It is 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 coulomb and 1 by 4 by epsilon naught. So proportionality constant. So K is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught. This constant value also we know, that is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square. So substitute all the value. By substituting all the value here, what you will get? 9 into 10 raised 9 into 2 into z will keep separately. Then e square. What is e square? Charge of an electron. 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 the whole square. And the charge square, so we will get Coulomb square. The unit also will write separately. Divided by k value. What is the value of k? By multiplying both, you will get 1.2 into 10 raised minus 12 joule. So 1.2 into 10 raised minus 12. So unit will write separately. So here we will mention the unit. So what is the unit? Newton meter square, Coulomb inverse square. Okay. And atomic mass we don't have, and charge of an electron is Coulomb square divided by k. Energy no. So the energy value also we obtained already. What is the value? It's a joule. So the energy is a joule only, no? So joule. Okay. Further we can rearrange. So Newton we can write as kilogram meter second inverse square. Because F is equal to m, you know, so mass into acceleration. Instead of Newton you can write mass into acceleration, and meter square is there. Okay. And this Coulomb power minus 2 and Coulomb square both get cancelled. Divided by joule energy. What is the SI unit of energy? It's a kilogram meter square second power minus 2. So kilogram will cancel. This meter square also cancel. Then s power minus 2 and s power minus 2 also cancel. Finally we have only the meter. So what should be the unit? So meter, because distance SI unit is meter. So how we arrive the unit? We got it. Okay. So any doubt in this? I'll repeat once again. 1 by 4 by epsilon naught unit is Newton meter square, Coulomb inverse square, and charge square is Coulomb square, and this is energy, so it's a joule. Okay. So after rearranging, finally we got the meter is the unit. Now substitute all the value. After substituting and rearranging, finally you will get the value is 3.84 into 10 raised minus 16 Z meter. But what is the Z? Already I said, for a gold nucleus the atomic mass is 79. For gold nucleus the atomic mass is 79. So substitute the 79 also here. 79 meter. Then the final value is 3 into 10 raised minus 14 meter, or here if you add 110, then power will reduce to no. So 30 into 10 raised minus 15 meter. So minus 15 is nothing but Fermi meter. So finally from experiment we got the result is 30 Fermi meter. So this is the distance of closest approach for collision between the alpha particles and the gold nucleus without touching the surface of gold nucleus. But actual size of a gold nucleus is very less. Okay. But actual size of gold is, but for gold, this distance is equal to 6 Fermi meter. So compare both the values, and comparing these two values, what you can say? So most of the space in an atom is almost empty, and there is a dense heavy metal which is located at the center. Okay. So once again I repeat how to solve the questions. From a major mass experiments, the alpha particles absorptive energy which is used to strikes on the gold nucleus. But from the conclusions, Rutherford said that most of the alpha particle beams passes through it with less angles. Only the few alpha particles found that undergoes head-on collisions. So from an instant alpha particle beam on a gold nucleus, only very few particles. How much particle? Out of 8,000, only one particles are found with the angle the same instant angle. So how much distance are left from this point of the alpha particle center to the center of gold nucleus? So this distance is called distance of closest approach that we want to determine. Okay. So energy is given. So the given energy in electron volt we have to convert it into joule first. So this is case 1. Then we are converted. After that, the electrostatic energy we know. What is the electrostatic energy? that is K into Q1 Q2 by R. What is a K? It's a proportionality constant. The proportionality constant value is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and Q1 for an alpha particle that contains a 2 proton, and Q2 gold nucleus that atomic mass is E. So E into E become E square. So this is the final formula. So from the formula, by substituting all the values and also rearrange the unit, and finally we got the unit. It's a meter. How much meter? 30 fermimeter. But actual size of gold nucleus is only 6 fermimeter, which means before touching the gold nucleus itself, the alpha particle beam is bounced back. Okay. Now we are moving to the third question. Question number 3. That is the example, book example, NCERT example 3, called point 3. Okay. 13.6 electron volt of energy is given to hydrogen atom, because Rutherford also used hydrogen atom only. Hydrogen atom. Okay, when the hydrogen atom is exposed with this much energy, then it's splitted into one proton and one electron. So from this, find the radius of electron orbit. Find the radius of electron orbit. And second one, velocity of this electron. Velocity of electron. Okay, that is R and V you want to determine. Okay. So last class we have seen in an electron orbit, what is the total energy of an electron orbit? It is negative. But question didn't give directly, they mentioned only 13.6 electron volt. But from the concept you should know the total energy of an electron orbit is minus total energy of, that's why the electron is bound to the nucleus. If it is a positive, the total energy is positive, the electron may be moves away from the nucleus. The total energy of an electron orbit is minus, so this value should take minus 13.6 electron volt. Okay, so as usual, the electron volt we have to convert it into joule. The latter case we will use it, but now it's a result. Minus 13.6 into 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 joule. Okay, so from this formula we know that value, that is radius value. What is the radius value? Radius value R is equal to E square by 4 pi epsilon naught into m v square. Okay, so this is the formula. No, sorry. Yes, this is the formula. But we, to find the velocity only we are going to use the formula. But the relation between energy and the radius is totally inversely proportional. So the total energy of an electron orbit is minus E square by 8 pi epsilon naught R. I repeat once again, the total energy of an electron orbit is always minus. So E square by 8 pi epsilon naught R. By rearranging these two terms, the total energy is inversely proportional to the radius. You will get the radius value. That is radius R is equal to minus E square by 8 pi epsilon naught. Instead of R, the total energy is substituted. But the total energy value is negative. So minus and minus cancel. So answer will be coming in positive only, no? Yes. So the radius R is equal to minus, what is the charge of electron? The previous second problem we have seen, it is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb the whole square divided by permittivity value. What is permittivity value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. That you can simply write it as minus E square by E into 1 by 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Why I change the formula? 2 into force 8, no? So I rearrange like this. So into 1 by 2 into what is the 1 by 4 by epsilon value? It is 9 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb inverse square divided by total energy. What is the total energy? It is minus. So minus 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule because it is energy. So minus and minus cancel and the square will be inside. Then it becomes minus 19 square becomes 38 and 1.6 into 1.6 because square root. So 1.6 and this 1.6 cancel. Then after rearranging finally the radius value is 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter. After substituting and rearranging, we get the value. It is 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter. Or 1/10 if you remove, then it becomes 53. So 53 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So what you can say is it is 53 Armstrong. So you got the radius value. It is 53 Armstrong. So we found the radius. Next we are going to find the velocity of electron orbit. Okay. I repeat once again. The total energy. How to solve this question? The total energy of an electron orbit always would be negative. But questions they given only 13.6. So here we should mention minus. So minus 13.6 into electron volt we have to change into joule because one electron is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 and Coulomb and volt will become joule of yes. After substituting the formula, you are rearranging this both because the total energy is inversely proportional to radius. If radius is very less, energy will be greater. Here also, the radius is very less, so only the energy is high. Okay, so rearrange both the terms. After rearranging, then modify the formula and substitute all the constant value and given value. Finally, you will get the radius. It is 53 Armstrong. Okay. Now, the second division in this question, you are going to find the velocity of orbital electrons. So the velocity of orbital electrons. So how to find this value? So in comparing centripetal force and electrostatic force, finally you got the value. Okay, what is the centripetal force? mv squared by r. What is the electrostatic force? K into yes, K into E squared by r squared. So what is the value of K? It is 1 by 4 by epsilon r. Yes. So from the comparisons, finally you got the radius. What is the radius? The radius r is equal to E squared by 4 by epsilon r into mv squared. You know how it comes? In the both the terms, you can remove one r. So mv squared, here r out. So in right hand side, E squared by 4 by epsilon r into r. So these two terms you rearrange. After rearranging, finally you got the radius. From the radius, already we found the radius. We don't want to find the radius once again, but we want only the velocity. So these two terms are you rearrange. So velocity square is equal to charge square by 4 by epsilon naught into mr. But we want only velocity, no? So the final formula is, if you remove the square, it becomes the right hand side becomes root. So velocity v is equal to square root of e square by 4 by epsilon naught into mr. Okay. But electron square we have root, so we can eliminate the root for electron now. So finally it becomes e by square root of 4 by epsilon naught into mr. So all constant value we have. Substitute all the constant value. What is the constant of charge of an electron? 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 Coulomb divided by square root of 4 by epsilon naught. 4 into what is the final value? 3.14 into epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 34 into mass of an electron. What is the mass of an electron? The mass of an electron is 9.1 into 10 raised minus 31 kilogram. So 9.1 into 10 raised minus 31 kilogram into radius we found. What is the radius? 53 angstrom. So 53 into 10 raised minus 10 meter. So after substituting all the values, the final velocity, because it is for an hydrogen atom, so the value won't change. But with respect to energy it may change. But here only in a certain value it comes. So finally you get the answer. The velocity of orbital electron is 2.2 into 10 raised 6 meter per second. Okay, which means the electron which rotates very faster. Think about it. Within once again this much time the electron rotates. So the electron speed is not equal to light speed but less than light speed only. Light speed is 3 to 10 to the power 8, but here it comes 3 to 10 to the 2.2 into 10 to the power 6, but not equal to the speed of light, but less than the speed of the light. Even comparing the jet plane, this velocity is very high. Okay, so we can compare this formula itself. The velocity and the radius, we compare the both value. Both also inversely proportional. So the radius is very small. So the velocity should be very high. The radius is very small. It is an angstrom, but the velocity should be greater. So electron that revolves around the nucleus for a hydrogen atom, for the particular energy, the electron revolves with the maximum velocity, that is 2.2 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Okay? Any doubt? So you should know only one thing. Whenever the energy is given to some atom to split into the charged particle, the total energy must be always minus, negative energy only. Because of the negative energy, the electron follows the closer to the nucleus, which means it is bound to the nucleus. Or otherwise, if the total energy will be positive, then electron will move away from the orbit. Okay. So, like this question, they won't mention minus, but while you are solving, you should consider this value will be minus because it is total energy. Okay. Thank you.